From deep in the heart of Texas, it's On Second Thought, powered by Hook'em.com. Hosted since 2016 by your favorite sports columnists, Cedric Golden of the Austin American-Statesman and Kirk Bohls of the Houston Chronicle. Let's do it, fellas.
This is On Second Thought, brought to you by Hook'em.com. Cedric Golden here with the Duck Kirk Bohls, and Duck baseball season right around the corner. 1 week from Friday, the Texas Longhorns open up the 2026. Oh my God, it sounds so long. 2026 already. We're getting old. Open up the 2026 season with a 3-game set at home at the Dish against UC Davis and their illustrious head coach, Jim Schlossnagle. Fresh off a standing ovation at the basketball game with Sarkeesian Tuesday night, joins us. Schloss, what's up, man?
What's going on? What's going on? Your statement there made me sound like the coach at UC Davis. I'm actually the coach at Texas, but
wow.
Tom,
what's wrong with UC Davis? I mean,
not a thing. Not a
thing. I don't say, sir.
Former Longhorn, player and coach, right? And head coach at UC Davis, Tommy Nicholson, I believe.
Yep, second base.
Head coach and also former AFC Pro Bowler Ken O'Brien played football.
He's not gonna be there though next week.
I doubt Ken's on the show.
No,
So
happy to be on with you guys.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you joining. Year two. I know you got hired so late the year before. What's the comfort level of going into a second year and having a full recruiting class and transfer class under your belt?
Yeah, certainly a lot of comfort just with the day-to-day operations of the program, all of our staff having been together now for over a year and a half. My own comfortability, and I guess the rest of the staff that move here, just with the city of Austin and knowing how to get around and what to do, operating within the athletic department. All of those things are certainly more comfortable now than they were when you first get here and you're trying to learn procedures and processes and systems that are, you would think would be relatively similar, but they're actually very, very, very different. So, the recruiting class, the high school class, we were able to impact that a little bit, but the 25 class was already pretty much decided before we got this job. So we're looking forward to those high school classes that we have coming down the road. But the transfer class, we're excited about those guys and certainly the young pitchers. So, looking forward to starting the games and trying to figure out who we are. You never really know until you play.
44-14 in year one, SEC title. Didn't get to where Texas is usually gonna be, and it is in the Big O. Omaha, but a successful debut. You mentioned those pitchers. Gotta ask, and I asked you at the alumni game, the annual alumni game, which was great. Always so good to see some familiar faces. We got to hang out with Swindell and Dressendorfer. Those guys are fun. You lose Jared Spencer last season. That was a big loss. 4-1, off to a really good start. Shoulder surgery, had to shut him down. But you got some familiar faces are back, pitching Thomas Burns, Ruger Rojas, Cade Bing, Max Grubbs, Hudson Hamilton, and then you got Dylan Volantis, who's a freshman All-American last year. How important was it for you to develop that depth in the offseason and to get some experienced arms back? Because that really derailed some things, losing Jared last season.
Yeah, and I don't think you mentioned Luke Harrison, who's
big Luke, big Luke,
arguably an all SEC pitcher. So it was huge to get those guys back. Their innings, their experience, their savvy, moxie, their leadership, just incredible to have those guys back. Great statement on the program that those guys want to come back. Several of those guys that were draft eligible, like Ruger and Luke, and Max, all those guys could have had opportunities in professional baseball had they been signable for the right amount. But we were able to, that's one of the one of the unspoken things regarding, publicity rights, revenue share, NIL, like all that stuff is there's a lot of negative connotation to it that people like to talk about, but there's actually a lot of positive because it allows us to help guys get back to school and graduate, and obviously help the baseball team, but also graduate, get their degree, and then move on with whatever they're going to do next. So having almost, I think it's close to 80% of our innings pitched from last year back on a staff that led the SEC in our ERA is good. The past never equals the future, especially in baseball. So you can't just assume that those things are going to happen. But it was good to have them back. And I think, obviously because of their success, but also their leadership and the security blanket that they provide for us, to develop these young pitchers. And, there's like 5 guys that have kind of separated themselves in the younger group, Crossland, Cozart, Winter, Walls, and McKernan. But there are other ones that have done really well. But those 5 guys have separated themselves. So it's going to be interesting to see how we get to use them early in the year, barring injury. I don't know, the one thing that I haven't seen yet, and I say yet because there's flashes, is Spencer really turned into just an elite Friday night guy. When you think of SEC baseball and a Friday night arm that combines big power arm with strikes, that's what they look like. And I've seen flashes of that with 1 or 2 of our guys. Not that they have to throw, 96 miles an hour, but just that dominant guy that is willing to pitch with another ace, right? And so we have one more weekend of inter-squad games, and then I'm basically going to use, we want to win all the games, but I'm going to use those first 3 to 4 weeks of figuring out who exactly can do what in what role. And then by the time we get to Ole Miss and conference play, maybe we'll have a little bit better idea of who can do what.
Well, you mentioned, Brett Crossland, he and Sam Cozart, both freshmen, power arms, looked great at the alumni game. Both struck out, I think, 5 batters, a lot of strikeouts in that game. So it seems like you really have power arms more than you did last year. And it's such a big team. You spoke about this to us a couple weeks ago. It's a big team. It kind of reminds me of some of those LSU, teams that would go into Omaha and knock down the walls and, the gorilla ball and all that. And that's kind of by design, is it not?
Yeah, I like physical players. I think to endure and I think you see that across all levels of baseball now. The players they're super athletic. They're bigger. They're stronger. Nutrition and training is such a thing that kids get into, at earlier ages these days. Just because you're big doesn't mean you're good.
Right.
And if you're not big, doesn't mean you can't be good. But at the end of the day, strength wins. And, whether you can be tall or short, but you can't be weak. And especially on the mound, when I think of the University of Texas, they should have big athletic physical pitchers. And, we're living in an era now where a high school pitcher is the biggest risk in a draft. Very few of those guys get drafted high because it's such a risk to get them to the big leagues. And on the flip side, there's no sure thing in the draft, but one of the more sure things I would say is an elite college pitcher. And so, that's why those guys come to school, and there's some great statistics that say if you throw X number of innings in the SEC in your junior year, your chances of making the big leagues are actually over 50%. So we can get those guys to school. And so yeah, it is a big team. I wish we were a little more physical on the position player side, but we're getting there. Certainly having Jonah out in the mix now makes us at least look better when we walk off the bus. But that doesn't win you ball games. You gotta go play. So, I would like to think that give us another recruiting class or 2 that we can hopefully get to school. And when you look up here in the next 2 years, I think it'll be something that, the uniforms will be really filled out well.
Well, Jim, we talked to Rylan Galvan, your great catcher from last season with the Chicago White Sox organization now, and he was on our podcast, and super young man, just funny and and confident. And a pitching staff's only as good as his catcher, and we know that. You went and got Carson Tinney from Notre Dame, and Rylan likes him. I like him.
Yeah.
Why was that important to land him and someone with that experience to help run the staff?
There's never been a good baseball team with a bad catcher, ever. In any, you could probably say the same thing about shortstop, but you just can't function without a really good catcher. And then when you can have that leadership and that personality, Ryland's very unique in his. He's such a great representative of the University of Texas. He's got the kind of the Latin flair that plays well here, and he was a guy we wanted back if we could have worked it out. But if it wasn't going to happen, then we had to go get a great one. And luckily, Carson was out there and he had a real great interest in Texas, and he's really evolved as a leader as well. He's a really good catcher. He's got unique receiving abilities. He throws well. And obviously he has, that big power, that's going to kind of, when he comes to the plate, the crowd's going to pay attention because you never know what you're going to see. So he's improving as an overall hitter, which is what, he has to continue to do to be the draft pick that he wants to be and be the hitter that we want him to be. But I'll tell you, there's two guys behind him, Andrew Ermis, who is really good catch and throw guy. I mean, really good. And he's really developing as an offensive player. He's not in Tinney's class. Very few people are. And then Presley Corville, freshman from Lake Charles, Louisiana, has made great strides. So part of keeping Tinney going all year is going to be, giving him opportunities to maybe not catch at certain times of the year, and having a capable backup, especially on the defensive side, is going to be a big part of our season.
And you mentioned figuring it out these first 3 weeks or so. I mean, you got a new catcher, new first baseman with Casey Boru moving across the diamond. Then you have a new third baseman, new shortstop, 2 new outfield. So it sounds like, Texas doesn't rebuild. We all know that. But so you're really serious because you want to play probably a bunch of people this first month of the season?
Yeah, I mean, ideally, let's wait and see. Jonah had his first live at bats yesterday.
Okay.
And this is the first time he's faced live pitching since football, since last year, and he did well. Adrian Rodriguez, I think, will be step in and play some inter-squad games this weekend. That'll certainly impact things. But yeah, I mean, there's guys making adjustments, and I think you're always going to see that in college baseball with the draft. And if you continually reach into the portal, then usually you're getting, guys that are pretty close to their draft eligibility or their grad transfers. So there's going to be some turnover, but there's a lot of things we have to figure out. What is first base the right spot for Casey? Is Livingston, who's really come on, what's his best position, third base or first base? That Tinney is going to be the primary catcher. That Mendoza is going to play second base. That Robbins is going to play somewhere in the outfield, and Rodriguez, if he's healthy, is going to more than likely be shortstop. So we've tinkered with, we've looked at some infielders in the outfield to give us the best offensive lineup. One area, the biggest area, I think I've told you guys before, the biggest area that we have to kind of figure out is our outfield. What's the best defensive combination while also giving us enough offense? So that's going to be something that we'll probably juggle around for a while, maybe play some matchups and see how that goes, because we're a little light there until we figure it out.
Tell us a little bit about Aiden Robbins, the outfielder you got from Notre Dame. Was it Seton Hall?
Seton Hall, yeah.
He had 422 last season, and could have gone to Vandy, could have gone to Tennessee. He winds up in Austin. What was the genesis of that conversation, and how important do you think he's going to fit into your plans?
I mean, he's immensely important. He's going to hit 2-3 somewhere in the lineup. I'd like to have him up in the first inning. He gets on base. He's super. A baseball term is hitterish. I mean, when he's ready to hit. I mean, when he walks in the stadium, I mean, he's just looking to do damage, and I mean, if you guys watch a lot of baseball or have watched a lot of baseball, if you see a guy that's hitting it that high of an average, I don't care where you play, that means you use the whole field to hit, right? In other words, with the exception of maybe Ted Williams, if you're just a dead pull hitter, in the era, we're still allowed to play shifts in college baseball. Boy, you got to be able to do something special to only use one part of the field to hit it for that kind of average. And Aiden uses the entire field actually. And so he's fun to watch. He's kind of a springy, loose bodied. We've got him stronger, but he's not a guy you want to be. Tinney's big and bulky, strong, whereas Robbins has that wiry, loose body that's running all over the field. So he's really going to be fun to watch. He's got the great hair and the beard. I call him baseball Jesus right now, but yeah, but he's just to have fun with him. But yeah, fans are going to like him. He loves to play, and he's a very exciting player.
Yeah, we touched on pitching a little bit, but we didn't give Dylan Volantis his due.
Looking bigger, Doug.
He is bigger. What did he add, like 15, 20 pounds? And
Yeah, he's probably added 15 pounds. Riojas has added close to 15 pounds. Almost all those guys were here all summer long. They really committed to the weight room and the nutrition in their bodies and that kind of thing. It's young amateur players these days, they play so much that starting at 8, 9 years old, and as their bodies start to grow, today's player, they play so much they never really invest 8 weeks or more into their body where they're not beating themselves up in baseball. And so when that does happen, even if it's later in their college years, you see those bodies kind of take off. Jonas has done that as well. And on the flip side, Adrian wanted to lose some weight and kind of lean out and have a chance to play shortstop. So each guy's on their own individual plan. But yeah, Volantis is, he missed the fall. He missed pitching in games. He got a pretty bad spout of, some mono and sickness there at the beginning of the fall, and he lost weight. And one of the biggest indicators or pre-indicators of injury is losing weight. You can argue forever on arm injuries and what causes it and that kind of thing, but one of the consistent ones is weight loss. And so we're trying to keep those guys moving, eating, and all the time. They're not like the three of us where if we
Easy, Tiger. Don't bring us into this. We're old.
I always tell them, man, I wish I could eat. I would be a heck of a fat guy, if I was able to do it. But
It's overrated, Jim.
it's overrated.
Overrated. Yes, sir, it is.
I'll try to avoid it, but no, we're excited for Dylan. We're gonna get, he's gonna start again this weekend, and then we'll probably give him some starts leading up, to conference play, and just like anybody else. I mean, he's awesome, but he's no different than anybody else. The guys that pitch the best pitch the most, and so you go earn it, and then we'll roll with it in conference play.
So you haven't anointed him or anybody else as the Friday night starter guy. Is that not just pressure, maybe? To put on it? Is it too much pressure to anoint him as the Friday guy this early?
I don't think it's too much pressure. I mean, Dylan obviously showed us what he's capable of pitching in the most pressure moments. I mean, the pressure to close the game in the SEC is way tougher than starting one. But
that's true.
But he's got to earn it. I think if I was just to roll him out there, you lose the respect of the rest of the team. Although they all love Dylan. And there's some other guys that are pitching, really well. And I think the Friday night thing, the one thing you got to remember is by the time you get to Friday after that Tuesday game, your bullpen's pretty rested, right? And so the Friday game, the pitcher has to be good, but you also have a lot of help down in that bullpen. Some of our best teams at TCU were when all three guys were, especially the first two guys, were relatively comparable in terms of their effectiveness. A lot of the times I would pitch the guy who I felt like was going to give us the most length in the game in the second game. Because in the first game, let's say you have the big power arm guy who's going to walk some dudes and he's going to have a relatively high pitch count. he can get you through 5 innings. Well, you have the whole bullpen sitting down there to help him.
Right.
And then on Saturday, we had a kid named Preston Morrison who, he was a great strike thrower, and he would get you into the 6th or 7th inning, and you really only need one bullpen piece, and maybe you score enough runs where you don't need any. But those big bullpen arms, if they had a day of rest on Saturday, then you have them ready to help you on Sunday. And so that was a little combination that really worked well for us at that time. I'm not saying this team has that yet, but it could very well have that. And so, there's just a lot of things that go into it to give us the best chance to win a series is really the way I look at it. What's going to give us the best chance to win a series in our conference?
Right. And you've had some great pitchers at TCU and A&M and before. Is he one of the top, 2 or 3 major league prospects you had as a college coach?
Volantis?
Yes.
To this point, you'd have to say yes, simply because he's so unique. The analytics of how he pitches are very, very, very unique. And you just have to look at his season. I mean, he's arguably in one season, the best college closer maybe ever. Certainly in recent history in terms of his effectiveness and how he did it. What I love is the speed at which he did it. That helped my heart rate a lot when he came in the game. We had Oshin back in A&M, and he was really, really good. But Dylan is more of a pure pro prospect maybe than Evan. But yeah, it's there's nothing worse than losing a game that you already have in hand, and then you lose it. It's going to happen in a season. It's going to happen, and you hate it. But it can't happen much, because then the confidence of the team really, really tanks, or can tank. So you got to have the right. Doesn't have to be just one guy, but you got to have the right bullpen down there. So
you look at Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm looking at the latest book I read, The Last Manager, my guy Earl Weaver, and he was a big fan of the 3-run homer and a great bullpen.
Which is best friend.
And that's your best friend. Yeah.
Oh my God. So we know that Ruger got some time in relief to close, and Max Grubb did some short relief. Who could fill that role? I know it's not even early; it's premature. But what are a couple of names that you think might have a chance to be the closer with Dylan stepping into that starting role?
Yeah, assuming that does happen for Dylan, Thomas Burns would be the first name that comes to mind. He's really pitching well, pitching at a high level, throwing strikes with multiple pitches. Obviously has the big fastball, but you got to be able to pitch with more than that in our league, because fastballs get hit. And it's there. It doesn't matter if it's 97. They get hit. But Ruger's kind of the swing guy. I think you could see Ruger pitching at the front of our rotation. He's made big strides with his body, and his stuff has taken a jump. If we were fortunate enough, say you had a Volantis, Harrison, Jason Flores, maybe, at some point in the season, and not necessarily in that order, but if you had those guys, and man, what a luxury that would be to have Ruger and Burns and Grubbs, and Cal Higgins, a lefty transfer. We need some lefties down there. Freshman Jack McKernan, freshman Brody Walls. Those two guys are fearless, man. And I'm sure they're going to have their bumps, maybe during the season like everybody does. But I don't think it's going to have to be just one guy. It could be one bell cow guy, but if, say I have to bring Burns in the 8th and use him to get 5 outs or something like that, and then need to sit him the next day, barring injury, we have some other options down there, and we need to give those guys that experience so that kind of we're covered for the whole season.
How's SEC look like this year, and how much are you, quote, looking forward to going to Texas A&M for that series?
Quote, yeah. I mean, SEC baseball, it is what it is. There's going to be 16 teams. There'll be 12 to 13, maybe at least, in the NCAA tournament. I think that's the thing that'll be unique about our season is I would love to start out at 19-2 start. But that's so rare.
That's happening. That's happening.
Yeah, it's doable.
Yeah, don't be running from that.
And I'm sure you guys will write that too.
Hopefully we'll still be working. We'll see.
Yeah, my point is we could have a much better team than we had last year, but not have the same record, at certain points of the season, and that'll we want to win all the games, but my point is, you can be 13-17 in this league and scrape your way into a regional and go to Omaha. I mean, so that's, we just have to keep evolving, stay healthy, and, all the coachy stuff that you've heard a million times. But regarding A&M, I mean, certainly that'll be a fun one for all of college baseball to see. And
what about you? It'll be fun for you, Jim.
Yeah, it'll be fun for me. I don't.
Wait a minute. You said they think you're the devil. You dropped a Satan bomb last year.
Yeah. I mean, that was very, what would you say? Yeah, that was too soon for me to probably talk about.
Maybe accurate. I didn't think
I mean, there's some Aggies I still talk to almost every, once a week, and some of them,
and they're in the closet. Trust. Friends don't know.
Yeah. I got a big text from one last night after they saw me at the basketball game with Sark. It was super nice, and I said, "Why don't you tweet that out?" He's like, "Nah, I could."
Oh, you can't mess with the cred. He wouldn't even be able to go to the chicken if you did that.
Yeah. No, but I am looking for, I still have guys that we recruited and coached on that team, and I look forward to seeing those guys and their families, stuff like that. But that's a long time from now. Long time.
Yeah. Are they going to have a bounce back year? And does Tennessee fall off a little bit with Tony going to San Francisco and MLB?
I don't think they fall off. I mean, they have great players, and Josh, played for us at TCU, and I mean, I'll certainly be rooting for him, except when we play him. But Josh has been around that. He's got to learn a lot from Tony, and he also worked for Dave Van Horn at Arkansas, so he's ultra prepared to go handle that. Who else did you ask about? Oh, A&M's team.
A&M.
Yeah. Awesome lineup. Big physical team. First, potentially 3 or 4 first-round picks, and Shane Sadeo coming back from injury, who's a elite competitor. And so, I would fully expect them to have a great year.
Yeah. Well, how much are you looking forward to this? I know the season didn't end, and I asked you a couple weeks ago if you watched the World Series, and you said, yeah, and you were miserable the whole time. Your excitement level and your emotions as you're building this program and getting your everything in place and getting your system ingrained. What's your excitement level?
Yeah, really excited. I'm at a really cool place in my life at my age, being in Austin. Finally bought a house last week. Nice. I don't get to move in for a couple weeks. As you know, Kirk, found a church that I love. My son's moving here. Actually a week from today. There's an outside chance my daughter may end up moving here, and so I just really love it. I mean, this is a neat time in my career, and I feel good health wise, and knock on wood, and really just want to see this thing through over the course of time, and get Texas back in Omaha and win a national title and keep going. I mean, I don't there's no light at the end of the tunnel yet for me.
Well, I hope, and I'm not trying to put your business out there, Jim. I hope you didn't move to BK, because that place went downhill fast. About 4 years ago, I mean, this family moved in, and the property values plummeted, of course, when the Bohls moved in. But I hope it's not BK. Because I tried to move there, and Kirk led a revolt of the local residents. And
oh, is that right?
So I'm still in the ghetto, but that's okay. It's a good ghetto.
Yeah, I can't reveal where I've decided to live, obviously, but
smart man.
But
People
it's
know people already know.
I'm close enough to get to the ballpark. Get here pretty quick.
Hey, the town hall with Chris Del Conte's tonight, Wednesday as we tape. Any improvements planned for Disch-Falk Field? And I know you have a new center field wall.
Yeah, we do have we have some that are in place. We've got put up a batter's eye that hopefully, I mean, it's a big structure. It won't blow down in a storm. We have a new right field. It's similar to the Yeti Yard, but we're still waiting on the final word from a sponsor. It's going to potentially be a different sponsor in that area, but kind of the same vibe out there in right center field. Nice. And then we also opened up our bullpen a little bit. That was a tough bullpen for our players to see the field. So just kind of try to give the ballpark a little character. Next year we'll be installing a new playing surface probably after November 1. And then we have big plans. I know Chris is going to talk about it tonight. We have big plans for renovating underneath the stadium, all the player facing stuff, not our batting cages and weight room. That stuff's amazing. Just locker rooms and training rooms and coaches' locker rooms and different things. And we've started the kind of the quiet phase of fundraising on that. So those are all the program building type things that I really enjoy. I love the big picture stuff, along with the day to day of coaching each individual team.
Well, not expanding in capacity, right?
I don't, Chris and I have definitely talked about it. Yeah. I think there's going to be some opportunities, potentially down the left field line. Our job as a baseball program is to go win games and create the need, for that. And I think as athletic directors in this new world are looking for additional sources of income, Texas baseball certainly can become that. And Chris and I we worked together on this for a long time at TCU, and we certainly have the same vision on what the continued growth of this program can be.
Hey, the playing surface, will it still be turf or will it be grass?
Probably turf. I mean, I'm a traditional baseball guy. I really love grass and dirt. This was my first year ever as a head coach to be the home coach on a turf field. And it is a luxury in terms of the development of your team. It's such a time saver. You could do multiple things all over the field. It helps you in camp. But what I would like to do is you can now engineer turf however you want it to play. And I really want to engineer it to where it plays as close to a grass and dirt field as we possibly can. And so you can do that now. But I will keep for sure that Disch-Falk look, right? When you have the drone fly over it, I don't want our field to look like every other turf field with I want the cutouts at the bases and the big longhorn in center field and different things that way. So, it's just so easy. I know that traditionalists love the grass and dirt, and so do I. But when you just get down to it and you're here working every day, the development of our team is so much better on a turf field.
Well, you won't hurt our feelings if you do go to grass, because Sid and our traditionalists too. So
yeah, I mean, if you guys want to volunteer for the grounds crew and come pull the tarp off and then get it, and all of the things you have to do. I mean, just give you a quick example. Like,
yeah,
I'm able to sell in recruiting. Hey, Aiden Robbins, yeah, man, you can come turn the lights on at night. You can plug your phone in. You can be playing your playlist through the speakers of Disch-Falk, and you can hit all you want. You don't have to ask anybody. You don't have to put out all the stuff, which always upsets the grounds crew. And if Max needs the infield with the pitchers, Tulo and I can take the infielders, put down 3 bases in the outfield and hit ground balls. I mean, It's just, you understand what I'm saying? And today's young player, they actually play on turf, 90% of the time. Do you know we only played 9 games on a natural surface last year?
That's crazy.
Wow.
I did not hear that. That's crazy.
I think we only played 12 this year.
Who has the grass in the SEC?
You got, I mean, for us this year, we go to play in Houston. So the Astros have that. We go to South Carolina, we go to A&M, and we go to Auburn. I think that's it because and then in the rest of the league, LSU, Florida, I mentioned Arkansas, Tennessee's turf, Vanderbilt's turf. Georgia just went from grass to turf.
Yeah.
Kentucky's turf, Missouri's turf, Oklahoma's turf. So, it's just
That's state of the game. State of the game.
it is what it is.
It makes sense, and I know it's a party town, but Dish is the only place in Austin where you can't get grass, but that's okay. It's okay. I'm sure the people in Austin will find their.
I don't know, buddy. If you go out in our right field bullpen sometimes during.
I know.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on in those buses, but
Yes, you do. Oh, yes, you do. You know what's going on in those.
As long as they're there. As long as they're there.
And they may not know they're there, but they're there.
yeah, all good.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, enjoy your last weekend in preparation. And Sid and I'll be out at the Dish on Friday. And wish you all the luck in the world. And know it's going to be an exciting year 2 in the
Thank
SEC.
you, guys.
Thank you.
I appreciate you, fellas. Appreciate all you do.
Jim, appreciate it, man. That's a great conversation with Jim Schlossnagle. We're looking forward to it, Duck, and we are looking forward to bringing you whatever happens over at the Dish and everywhere else at UT. And that's going to do it for this week of On Second Thought. We appreciate it, Jim. Thanks for watching us on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts, and we will see you next time.
That's a wrap. You've just experienced On Second Thought, powered by Hookem.com. Want more? Join Sed and Kirk every Thursday for a fun sports ride from the ATX. Find archived episodes anytime on YouTube, Apple, Google Play, and Yahoo.